detoxify your mind and body. Be the change you want to see. Small steps towards living better. Small steps to where I want to be.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's video I want to briefly go over a little bit about food combining and why it is important that we are being conscious of what we are mixing together when we are eating a meal. Certain foods do not combine well with other foods as far as digestion, and that is a problem because, you know, that can create a lot of gas. It can create acidic fumes, alcohol within the stomach and the intestines, and that can cause for a lot of health issues that a lot of us experience. Acid reflux, indigestion, heartburn, headaches, nausea, fatigue, the list goes on. So it is very important that we be conscious of what we're putting together for the best digestion, assimilation, and utilization of all of the things that we're eating so that we can feel our best and look our best. So I'm just going to go over just some brief bullet points and main ideas of what food combining is, and perhaps in a future video I'll get a little bit deeper into it. So one of the first rules that we should all be conscious of is mixing fats with sweet fruits or with any sugars. Any sugary foods should not be mixed with fatty foods. And the reason for this is that, let's say that you mix a banana with avocado. So the reason for this is that the banana is a high sugar fruit and it digests very quickly. The avocado is a fatty fruit that takes much longer in the digestive system to make its way through. So when you're eating the banana with the avocado, which a lot of people like to make like a chocolate pudding with banana, avocado, and carob or cacao, that can create some indigestion because that banana, which normally would have traveled through the digestive system so quickly, is now stuck there along with the avocado that takes a little bit longer. So that banana is going to start to ferment and go bad in the intestines before it can make its way out. So we're going to get, toxic fumes and other byproducts like alcohol and things like that we're going to absorb into the blood, and that's where we get issues. So let's keep the sugary fruits and foods away from the fatty foods. That is one thing that you can work on that will improve your digestion. So another thing is definitely leafy greens mix well with almost anything. So you can put, greens in a fruit smoothie, or you can eat greens with your fats. Really, the greens do not interfere with any digestive process when it's in the intestines or in the stomach with other foods. It actually, I've read that it improves digestion. So that is something that we can all, be aware of, that greens do mix well with most anything. So go ahead and have like avocado on your salad, which, fats actually do digest better when they're in there with the greens. The alkalizing greens help fats and proteins digest a little easier. So if you are going to eat, those heavier foods, I think it's important that we know to eat the more watery, less dense foods first. So when you're eating your meal, go by the density of the food. So those less dense foods like the high water content fruits and vegetables, eat those first. Then move on to like your salads that have a little bit more dense foods, and then move on to your mostly dense foods, which are the starches or the fats or the proteins. So if you can move from less dense to more dense in your meal, that's going to help with digestion, because the less dense the food, the faster it will digest. So that is, really basically one of the best rules to follow. Less dense to most dense in the order that you're eating. And that's going to help with your digestion and how much of that food you're actually assimilating and utilizing. So that you might want to give a try. So another thing that we can look at is the number of fats that we're putting into our digestive system at one time. The body has to create certain enzymes to digest each certain fat or protein or anything that we put into it. So really the simplest meals that we can consume are going to be the easiest to digest. So if you can work on only having one fat per meal, like an avocado, if you're going to have avocado, maybe don't put in a bunch of olive oil or olives, the whole olive even, or don't put in coconut or anything like that. If we can just keep from mixing different fats together in one meal, it's going to be much easier on our digestive system, and you will feel much better after your meal, because it's not going to be sitting in there trying to digest all those different fats, and it's going to just work out a whole lot better. So that's really all I'm going to cover in this quick video on food combining. I just want people to be conscious of eating your less dense foods first, the high water content foods, in the beginning of the meal, and then you can move along on the dense scale to the higher dense foods, which are like the fats and the proteins, at the end of the meal. That's going to allow for the best digestion, absorption, and utilization of all of the essential elements of that food that we want to get out of it. So just to quick go over a few of the bullet points again. Fats and sugars do not go well together. They allow fermentation and high blood sugar. So we want to keep those separate for digestion purposes. Two, I don't think I mentioned this before, but starches and proteins do not mix well either, because the starches require an alkaline enzyme and proteins require an acid enzyme. They'll neutralize each other in the digestive system, and you won't have a proper digestion of those foods. So you'll have a lot of undigested foods going through the intestines, and that is not what we want. So keep your fats to one fat per meal. If you're going to have avocado, keep it to avocado. Don't be adding in olive oil or any oils or coconut or any other fatty foods, because it's going to slow down the digestion, and it's going to cause for a lot of food in there to go bad before we can assimilate it and use it how we need to use it. So, really the main point I want to get across is to just keep it simple. The simpler your meals are, the better you're going to digest those foods. The body really wants the simplest things going through it, because our bodies they're simple yet complicated organisms. They can only absorb the simplest structures, which are the amino acids, the carbohydrates, and the fatty acids. When we're eating the high protein or high fat foods, especially if they're cooked, the body has to put a lot of energy into breaking that down into the simplest forms that it needs. So the body loves it to be simple. So you should eat simple for the best health. Now, I'm going to play a little clip of a class that I just gave, and I was talking about food combining, so I thought it would be fitting to just kind of put a little clip at the end of this video. So I hope you like it, and I hope you have success with your food combining, especially for those of you that have digestive issues. If you have heartburn, if you have acid reflux, if you have irritable bowel syndrome, if you have any sort of digestive issue, this type of eating is going to benefit you in the long run. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions, leave one down below. Give me a like if you thought this video was helpful. And I'll catch you guys in the next video, like always. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.
It takes much longer for the body to work on that. So when it's working on the salad, then you take in the watermelon. The watermelon's super fast digesting, so it's going to get stuck there when normally it would have passed through the stomach very, very quickly. Now it's sitting there and it ferments, creates alcohol, toxic gases. That's where you get gas and burping. And you know, you want to eat your fruits first because they are the fastest digesting foods.